All right, it is 5:10 p.m. in Dubai. We shall start our second session. So today is 6th of November 2021. And just to inform you that now in US and some parts of Europe, there'll be some daylight saving hours from I think next week. We will not change our timing of the second session. So that's why from this week, I have changed the timing as per the Dubai so that others can match with that. So for those countries where there is no daylight saving hours clock setting, resetting 1 hour before and after adjustments, so they need to, match with the other areas, India or Dubai, that time they have to match. Means it will continue to be in the same time. So second session. Last year we did change. So as per the US time change, we have also changed. But this year will continue to be, it will be at the same time. So which is now, like we started about 5 p.m. here in Dubai, which is 6:30 in India. India and Singapore and other countries will continue to be in the same time in the second session. So this is just for your information. And there's another thing. Next Purnima is a Kartik Purnima, which is Mahavatar Babaji's birthday. In that, we will be planning for a special session. Most likely it will be on the Purnima will be 18th November evening, so which will be Thursday. So we'll have a special program on that day and special session on that day, and we'll have that loving protection by Babaji. Last year we conducted one as per Babaji's as advised or not advised, directed by Babaji last year. So this year we'll do the similar one. So we will send the detail and you can invite your family members. I think last year when we did, about 100 people joined. So I will just show the program so that you can remember the process. So let me show my screen. Okay, welcome Vidyaji.
Pranam Guruji, Pranam.
Pranam. I'm just showing a screen now, which will be for Babaji's birthday, Kartika Purnima, which is normally next full moon after Diwali. Yeah, right. So Diwali has already gone past. Today is Ditya, I think. So we will be doing it's a special program for Babaji's loving protection. I will send the detail. It will fall under that 18th of November in the evening. And in that, you are welcome to bring a special process for individual. You will do loving protection of Babaji. I will just explain one slide right now, what is the process, and you can invite others who are not regularly joining also, that's okay. I will just explain that process. So now I'll share my screen. You can see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So in that process, you will be asked to get one marigold flower. Okay, this
Okay.
one. Hindi genda full. Okay.
Mm.
So this thing, everybody need to individually, you need to have one flower, you need to collect and be ready before the process. Exactly what type of color, etc., doesn't matter. In case any reason that marigold flower, that's what I got instructed last year, and we'll be following the same. In case you don't have a marigold flower, you can use any other flower also, if it is not available. Okay. Otherwise, prefer the marigold flower. It has to be kept in a hand, and I will be, channeling, connecting to Babaji, and Babaji is already in our Hriday Guha, that is in the heart chakra, center of the heart chakra. Babaji is already there. So we will just invoke Babaji's energy in. We have to do 7 rotations with marigold flower. First rotation with our hand. Right hand will hold the flower, and we'll rotate our hand with that flower 7 rotations first in the green circle. The green circle, keeping heart at the center, it will be between, this is the 4th chakra, so between 3rd and 5th chakra, the rotation will be there. So it is between Manipura and Visuddhi. This is the 2 of your own chakra, that is the circle. You have to do 7 things. 7 rounds, rotations, and then when I will say, after that, it will go to the 2nd circle, which is a blue circle. So it is between your 6th chakra and 2nd chakra. So that means Swadhisthana chakra and Agya chakra, 3rd eye. So you rotate your hand clockwise 7 times around this, and this, and this is the blue circle. And after that, when I will say, so then you stretch your hand at the maximum, not necessarily between the Sahasrara and the root chakra. You can stretch your hand and do the last 7 circle, the 3rd circle, the brown color one, 7 chakra and 7 rotations. And then you have to, I will say some prayer. So you can keep the flower for some time, and later on you put it in the water or something. So this is how we will activate that loving protection of Babaji. We have already done it before. We will do it this time again. So every person who wants to join, so he will need to participate that. And then before this happens, so what I will do is, let me stop sharing. So what I will do, so each one, before that process starts, in this, through video call, you need to show me the flower. So I will just energize it and put some kind of mantra there, individually, by name. So the number of participants will have that many number of flowers they have to collect and hold. So after I do that, then in the group session, so everybody will do it together, that one. Okay, then we'll go into the meditation and other things. So this will be the loving protection, invoking loving protection of Babaji. We will do it on 18th evening. So I will just put the program and schedule. So accordingly, you can get ready with the flowers. So any question on this? Yes, Somnath?
While holding the marigold flower in right hand, doing it clockwise, seeing from my side, as you explained earlier, the flower should be facing the chakras or outward?
Yeah, outward.
Flower should be facing outward. Okay.
Okay, but it should be your you clockwise, means your right side it will move.
Right. Right.
Okay, from the other side, if somebody sees from them, it is anti-clockwise.
From them. Right. Okay. Thank you. Pranam.
Okay. Okay. God bless you. Shubir, you wanted to ask something? I'll come back to you, Vani. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the same question about rotation, whether my hand, I mean, the clockwise is pointing away from me or clockwise is pointing towards me. So I got the answer. It is pointing away from me.
Yeah, from your clock side means.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at
moving, that side your hand will move.
Yeah, if I look at my hand, I will see a clockwise rotation.
Correct. That's it.
And the flower will be pointing outwards.
Yes. Flower will be holding like this. From the back side of the flower, hold it, so that flower will come like this. Yeah.
Okay.
So then you can rotate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Vani, okay, go ahead.
Guruji, one request, since it's a working day, can we make it like early for US timing before the work starts, basically like 7 o'clock or something like that, AM?
What I will do is, because next day morning there is a session for us, Friday, which will be your late evening. Yeah. That time, because what happens is this Purnima starts in the India time about 18th afternoon.
Okay.
And goes to the 19th afternoon sometime. Okay, so I don't have that evening. If I do it before, you will miss the Purnima again. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if before you go and work, if you do it again, the Purnima will not start that time. So I need to do this maybe sometime around say 9 o'clock India time or something of that nature. 9 p.m. India time. Okay, something of that. And again, if somebody is missed, again I will do it early morning next day when our Friday session starts.
Okay, Guruji, that would work, I think. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so if somebody wants to do that, then before we do the Friday morning session for us, it will be late night in US. That time also you can do, because Purnima will still be there that time.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Okay, because it is not good to do it your morning time. It's better to do your evening time when the Purnima is there in your place. Okay?
Okay, Guruji. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Okay, so anybody else has any?
Guruji, pranam.
Yeah, pranam. So anybody else has any question on this loving protection?
Guruji, I have a question. The flower, I will hold it like this, okay, and do it like this way. I mean, this is my heart chakra. This is my heart chakra. So I will do it like this way, or the flower will face me. I will do it like this way. I don't understand that.
Flower will face outside.
Okay.
And you do it keeping the heart chakra at the center. So first circle will be, you do hold it like that and then rotate like this. But outside is not necessarily vertical. It can be, the way comfortably you can hold, but you hold the back side of the flower. Only one flower, no need to bunch of flowers, only one. Hold it this way and the flower will be put outside and then you rotate. Like this.
Okay. Thank you, Guruji.
Okay. All right. Fine. So just then now let us go into our today's topic. Let us go into our today's topic. Then the today's topic is that you are what you think. There are two parts in it. You are what you think, not what you think you are. This is actually the it is actually the universal law that depicts that human nature. I will explain that, what I mean by that. What happens is that when our own behavior, it starts with our own thinking. First, some idea or thought comes in our mind. We think about it, and that thought triggers emotion. Then we get emotional, or we may not get, degree of emotion may vary, but normally it happens that way. So it triggers our emotion, then we act, react, or talked accordingly. Then we whatever we say, it is by the influence of that. And then finally, then when we take action, so it's all started from that thought. Over the period of time. So this is from the childhood we are doing it. So this is how we operate. First some thinking comes, and then think takes our emotions, and then we start talking about it or taking action about it. So thoughts, words, and actions, as depending, started from that idea, that thought that came. So when we repeatedly doing this kind of things, so by repetition, thoughts become patterns. A certain type of thought, certain type of nature, it comes back again and again. If you see, that's why most of the people, they behave in a certain way, they talk in a certain way, they approach anything, any external thing in certain way, because they are operating from their pattern. So in that case, of course, the reason for developing that kind of pattern may be many. So if somebody has, have an experience of, they try to learn swimming but got drawn into water, so that he or she can develop hydrophobia. An adult, that is no issues there, but they don't want it to go near the water. And many things. So it changes our behavior altogether because of that phobia or that fear of that. So this pattern ultimately becomes our habit. We operate in a certain way, we behave in a certain way, and based on our earlier thoughts and actions and so-called experiences, what we gather and try to do that. And then through the habit, it becomes a belief system. Like we believe in that. Whether right or wrong, that is a different matter. Whether it is still valid or not, that we normally don't check. When it becomes belief, then even subconsciously also we do that similar one. Not only consciously, subconsciously, automatically we go at a certain thing because of our belief system. To understand the belief system, we give example of in a zoo, the story I shared earlier also I'm sharing again, because it is important to understand that the logic behind it. In a zoo, there is one, mother elephant had delivered a baby elephant, in a zoo. So zookeeper, what happened was that baby elephant was running here and there and going to some tiger's cage or lion's cage or something, so that it doesn't get hurt. So what it does, zookeeper puts some small thread and tie it in a pole next to the elephant's the den. So we put the baby elephant there so that it doesn't run around here and there. So what happened earlier, the baby elephant, he doesn't like that, so he tried to break open that small thread, like he tried to break open that, but it's not getting successful into breaking that thread. So now what happened is, as it tried to break open that thread, so it didn't. So it developed an idea that it is unbreakable. Then year goes by, the elephant also grown up. Now elephant become big, it may be 10 years old or something. So it has got all the power, like, if it's a single thing, if it hits it, the thread will go haywire. But that elephant, that baby elephant, now it is a young elephant, will never try that. Same thread is tied with the pole, but the baby will never, the elephant will never try that, because in the childhood, his experience make him believe that this thread cannot be broken. He tried at that, but he has gone big, his strength has gone bigger. But because of this thing, because of his mindset that it cannot be broken, he will never try. So, and this is the typical example of our self-limiting belief system. We just operate in a certain belief system and we think certain thing is not possible, certain things is not for me, or okay, it is difficult, or it is too much hard work, or things like that. So because we are, this is how we perceive one time. One time it is possible, like actually it was hard, it was not, it was really difficult to achieve, but maybe the time passed by, you have grown, and it is no longer, the same situation is not there. So it is no longer having the similar kind of approach. It can be easily reassessed and done, but we'll not do that subconsciously. We think it is not possible. So in that case, it becomes our belief system. And it is like that thin rope, we didn't try, and we belief system, and we stuck there. And all our thinking operates through that. So that's why when we operate in this world, then whatever thoughts going in our mind, that determines who we are. Our thoughts, words, and actions. Yeah. Okay, thoughts it is started, but words and actions, which is going outside, but everybody can see what you are doing, what you are saying, that is governed by that thought pattern, which is coming from your belief system. So you will not try, you will not do that thing. So that becomes, so whatever you are thinking currently, that becomes the personality you are. If you think all the time that you are sick, you are diseased, you don't have a good health, and you are already, or you are cursed, or this and that, your life experience will be like that. If you think you are abundant, you are powerful, you have all the things, whatever you need, it comes to you, and your life experience will be like that. External world will not change, but your experience will change. So here comes that your belief system here. So it says that you are what you think. Whatever your thoughts are, that determines who you are. Okay, now let me go to the little other aspects of it, the second part of it. We are also, from the beginning, because of social conditioning or childhood conditioning or any other, there are many other type of conditioning, like religious conditioning, political conditioning, educational conditioning. There are many other conditionings that actually determines our behavior. Now, in there, all the time, we want, all along our experiences, we want some kind of approval from others. Like whatever I'm doing, it need to be appreciated by, by others. Then I think that I'm successful. Yeah. If I have a lot of money, then I will try to show that I have a lot of money, and people, oh my goodness, you are filthy rich, and that satisfies me. Yeah? Or somebody says, oh my goodness, you have what in-depth knowledge you have. And that satisfies me. What a big house you have, and that satisfies me. Here comes what we call the image. Later on, that whatever actual thing has get dropped, we run behind the image. Whether it is social or something, then you put their image first. Okay. Their image first, and then have to, go and show to the world that, how good or thing like that. Many cases this happens. Like when we talk with somebody else, then our talking mostly comes with I have the biggest one. Yeah. So if you see the so European talking in a chit chat. Suppose in a bar they are sitting. If you listen to what they are talking, so if somebody has a what is called, somebody's car can go up to say 200 kilometers, the other's car can go 250 kilometers per hour. They go for a fishing in the weekend. If somebody catches fish up to 2 kg, the other guy catches fish up to 3 kg, and the third one comes and I catch 5 kg. Yeah, so this is the kind of thing. This is all type of projection they put into this thing. Yeah? If somebody in our country, in the Eastern, that type of thing people boast a little different. Yeah? Somebody boasts that he came from certain Jamindar family, landlords. Yeah? Jamindar family. So they will find somebody who came from some royal family, king. And somebody you will find maybe came from the emperor family. Yeah? They have some connection. So they boast all those things. This doesn't matter, irrelevant. What forefathers and fathers were there, it doesn't matter. Okay. But now you boast that. Yeah. You say, this is in my blood. Yeah? I have a DNA of that royal family. Anyway, so we become so much putting the image into us. Then, by the way, interestingly, this aspect of human behavior, exploited by social media very well. The most popular social media companies are those which allowed everyone to boost their image. Boost their image and 10 people will like that. Okay, that becomes very successful because this aspect is come from our ego. Ego is basically that our mind, body, intellect package, but it is the false belief of our own self. It is an image. It is not real, but it is we created as such in real. Bigger the ego, bigger the image. Okay, huge image. So they project him very big. It gone into some stage, then people start believing, no matter what area that they wanted to take credit for, they repeat it, and sometimes it may be lies, sometimes it may be stories that never happened. Earlier days you used to think that somebody went and fight with a tiger and killed the tiger in empty hand or something of that nature. Yeah? So this kind of stories you can hear. Yeah? Or somebody can swim for say 20 kilometers and reached somewhere and all this kind of stories. Because they like that idea. People that appreciate of this kind of stories and they, oh my goodness, you have done that, and they like that. Slowly what happens is that the truth dies first. Truth you fall behind the image, try to boost the image, you have to empower the image. You come to a certain stage at one level. I call it you con yourself. You cheat yourself. You know the truth. But so many times the lie has been repeated. To you, you started believing in the lie for yourself. Yeah? Then something happens. Okay. Then it bursts your ego, or it's a puncture of the balloon, the bubble bursts, then you fall on the ground. Higher you go, falling will be that much painful and that experience. Then they realize what happened, because they started believing it. So from that extreme, they go to the downward spiral. Poor me syndrome. Why the God is punishing me? What wrong I have done? Kisi ko kya bigara? Why these things I have done, and why these things and those things? Why people are talking bad about me? Why they are not, appreciating me and all this kind of thing. So there is another extreme. So In the second part, what that law says, it is not what you think you are, because what you think you are is your image. Okay, I'm so and so. Whatever is your plus point in your life, you will try to project that image. Somebody attained a very high level position in a company, CXO. Then they said, I am CEO, CIO or something of that company, and that becomes their primary identity, and they try to project. If somebody has that, suppose that, what should I say, some collection that nobody else is having, so that becomes the collector image has become the major thing. If some person has willingness, they wanted to act something, that creative things, no matter that they think he or she is a great actor, every time any discussion bring the acting into this, and they talk about only that. And their discussion will be which actor they meet and what they say, they offered him a role, but he rejected and all this kind of stuff. Then you will listen to all this kind of stories. Yeah? So same with the sports, some sports I was almost there trying to go to this Olympic because of this local sports council politics. They could not allow me to go. What is pity? Anyway, so thing is, it is all about that image, the false sense of that. You think you are a great player. Yeah? That's what you think, but it is not the truth. So same way, then I said that you are going to a stage where you are self-conning yourself. You are basically cheating yourself. So to put it into another way, here your selfie doesn't matter. Truth matters. What self-image you have, it doesn't matter, because it came from this kind of falsehood and that kind of understanding, the image building purposes that will not the truth. So with this understanding, I will just repeat what the law says. It says, you are what you think. Means what is going on in your mind, that is you. And not what you think you are. You maybe think you are great, but may not be true. It is a different issue. Everybody need not to be great. No, but it's not possible everybody become topper and the first in the class or the topmost, top in the business and top in the life. It's not possible. It's not meant and it is not designed to be that way. But that's what people think, they are. So now, what do you think you are? So if we can see, how do you know that exactly, who am I? What level I am? Then my advice is keep a track of your thinking. What are the type of thoughts you have in your mind? You are harboring in your mind. Start from there. Earlier, I suggested keep a thought journal. That issue came about the P wave. How do I know I'm higher in the vibration and then not lower in the vibration, etc. One method is you have your own. It is self-analysis. You keep a journal and every minute you put some kind of alarm and tone or something in the mobile, set that time, stopwatch kind of stuff. Every 1 minute and just note down currently what are the things going on in your mind, 2 words. And then you read it. The type of thoughts. If you're thinking about worry or panicking or fear, what happened to the health, what happened to my money, and what happened to this, and what happened to the scared, what will happen if in future the computer will take all our jobs, and where we go, how do we live, and all these kind of things. Or you may have that thing that I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm lucky. That even if you are just get up from the bed today, with no major sickness, and you are breathing, you are alive, you are among the top 10% of the population of the world. It itself is a blessing, isn't it? We need to count that blessings, and if we find that all the glasses are half empty and half full, but it matters which area you look into in your life. If you look into always the dark areas and sickness and failures and things like that, then your life experience will be like that. All the time you'll be complaining and you'll be seeing all those things, and those are the only things come in front of you. On the other side, you can look up. This pattern of looking below, I was telling in the morning also, the Guruji Prem Ninwal is saying that most of the people, they live their life as a garbage collector. You know, the garbage collector, they pick up garbage and put it into some kind of plastic bag and throw it. And that's a municipality send those people. We live our life like a garbage collector. We see the garbages in our life. You know, वो कचरा किधर किधर पड़ा है, ढूंढ ढूंढ के उसको निकालते हैं, उसको पिकअप करते हैं, उसको पकड़ के वो थैली में डालते हैं. This is what we do. Or you can just look up and enjoy the nature. Doesn't matter, कचरा में भी there, उसको पैर के नीचे कितने आया कितने गया. Okay, you just walk. I said, fine, I'm alive, I'm good. At this moment, which is the truth, at this moment, it's fine. I'm breathing, I'm healthy, I'm grateful, you know. I have a place to stay, I have things to eat, you know. If I'm grateful about that we are in the top 10% category. Yeah? Now in this, you can find what you were grateful about. If you do that, if you practice that, the gratefulness, then you are vibrating much, much higher. The highest level you can operate is in the attitude of gratitude. And you will attract more and more. I'm not talking about spirituality. I'll come that later on. The spiritual understanding of that. So what happens is, no matter where you are living like, even though you're born in the kachra, I give an example of Pankaj, na? Lotus. Even if you are born out of the mud, but no, you're not even, forget about dirt, not even a water can touch you. When swan drinks milk, if the milk is mixed with water, when it drinks only the milk, leave the water, filtered out automatically. So it chooses what to drink, no matter how it is offered. See, such a beauty. So just choose what helps you and ignore the rest of the things. So this approach changes your experience of life. And then you started seeing something which is never experienced before. Those are hidden. Hidden from your point of view. It was always there. You start looking into that. I was mentioning about some gratitude journal, like what are the things we should be thankful about in life. Louise L. Hay. She is a wonderful lady and gets great books. In one of her books, she mentioned about this. They just started between the friends, the competition, that every day individually they will write 50 things they are grateful about and on that day. It can be anything. It can be minor. It may not be the big thing, but just a minor thing. What you are grateful about. Okay, so they think, right, that I was waiting for that particular thing, something to arrive on mail. It has arrived today. I'm grateful. I'm just so today it is a sunny day and everything is fine. I can go out for work. Another grateful about. I had a very good breakfast today. Another. So what was happening was they had to find out 50. Initially, they not even find one to be grateful about because we don't look for it. Why we don't look for it? Because we have become kachra collector, garbage collector. We see where is the problems. We find 50 problems easily. I can write in 10 minutes 50 problems in my life, yeah? But not even a single thing to be grateful about. So when they started this exercise, this practice, then they start looking for it because they need to fill 50, that is a competition. When they start doing that, after 1 month of starting this, they find something to be grateful about every time, everywhere. Everything is a divine grace. And that is actually how the spiritual masters live their life for. They find in something to be grateful about everywhere. And when you go into the detail, you realize how perfect the universe is. Perfectly designed. So-called whatever bad things, what you see, the disease and pains also has a purpose. For the purification, you need fire. Fire will burn. It's up to you whether you focus on the burning and the pain associated with it, or you focus on the purification, what comes out as a result. It's up to you. Anything to deliver, we need to undergo certain process. And that process is always not normal. Like the process involves many things. In the morning, I was giving example for the cooking. Suppose you wanted to cook something. You have to prepare some good food and serve it to your family, say. So what you do with the ingredients? You first put up some pan and heat it up at a high temperature. So it's 100 plus temperature pan, then put some oil. That oil should go up to 100 plus degrees centigrade. That's the purpose of the oil, to increase the temperature. Water cannot go up to that. Water evaporates. You put oil so that it goes up to 200 degrees centigrade. Then you put all this masalas and vegetables and whatever, okay, all the ingredients, and then you fry them into the 200 degrees centigrade temperature. And then you pressurize it and close the container, or the pressure cooker sort of stuff, or something. You put some lid on so it gets more pressure. So high temperature, high pressure. And finally, after it goes to say half an hour and all, then you get the food is prepared, then you just serve it. Yeah. But this process, if you see from the ingredients point of view, the ingredients all undergone a big process. Frying and almost burning. And then high pressure, high temperature, and maybe some preparation, you need to steep them well. So usko laat maar ke bhaga raha hai every moment. So all this kind of stuff, end of it, your food is prepared. Purpose of that ingredients, that life is served. So you have to achieve the best product of yourself, the better version of yourself. Okay, you need to get prepared, whether you can, so that you can serve, you can offer to the humanity. Otherwise, to come back again and do the same thing. It's not, you can run away for some time, but ultimately you have to go through that process. So you can look at that, why I'm undergoing this process, very bad, I should not be doing it. It is like in our childhood, we don't want to go for the exam. In the name of the exam, you have to run away. But without exam, you cannot pass. You cannot go to the next class. So the way you look at it, you took that exam as a challenge and pass it, go to the next one. That exam goes forever in your life. Or you keep attempting 10 times. I know many people, they are attempting in the same class for 5-6 years. Attempting the same exam, same thing, failing every day. Okay, so there is no point in running away from this kind of challenges and exams and things like that, because that is a key to your success. That is a process of polishing it, polishing you, but so that you can give what best you can give. One class 8 fail person and one, say, the engineering degree holder with the master's degree in business management, what service they can offer is quite different, right? So accordingly, you can go into the highest potential, but we have to undergo this process. It's not easy. If everybody is given without asking this kind of degrees and qualifications, then there is no value. Anyway, so this, so I hope that is clear what is meant by you are what you think, like means what is going on actually in your mind. I said the journal and all those things. That is truly you. You can see exactly, because there your mind is hidden from outside. So you can play the truth there of your truth. So that determines your character there. You actually know. Doesn't matter what you post in the Facebook. Okay. But the second part, that you are not what you think you are. Your image is not truly you. Unless you change your belief system. Yeah. Now I'm going to go a little bit about the spirituality, because this particular topic has not much a spiritual thing involved. It will come later in the other universal laws, but let me give touch on this. All this, you see, all the culprits are your mind, your patterns, your belief system. So the smart question is to be asked is how I can change my belief system. If my belief system does not allow me to come out of some situation, if I change the belief system, I will be doing the opposite thing. No? My thinking will be, yes, I can do it, and I don't leave it till it is over. Simply changing the belief system. That is also possible. You can have a powerful belief system built in. In that process, if we go to the stage where you go beyond belief system, it is possible by going into no thought, so that thoughts are not controlling you. Also, thoughts are not taking energy of you. 95% of our thoughts, if not more, are useless, of no use for us, practical use. If we can stop happening, and only if I call our mind to act only on those, then we are optimizing our thoughts and we use the energy elsewhere. And if the mind is quietened, then I am not getting into, my emotions is not triggered, my other things are not then I again have a chance to go higher and download the higher knowledge, the Brahmagyan, the universal knowledge, the truth, the experience. My whole life will change. And that is infinite. There is no such limitation there. If I connect it with the infinite source, then my life will get transformed. That is the key. So that time, if you are, say, you are what you think. If you are not thinking even, you become infinite. Okay, just contemplate on that what I just said. You are identified with thoughts. When the thought stops, you become infinite. We call it by death, you become immortal. When those things dies, you connected with much, much greater energy and infinite possibilities, which otherwise not possible. Otherwise, it is a limiting. So that is what our spirituality takes us, to tap into that kind of energy. And when you go there, we can go through our meditation. When we go to the oneness, the sixth body, the sixth body, the experience, you are the one who created everything. Okay, you are the one who has given color to the rainbow. You are the one who created the sunrise. You are the one who created the waves on the sea. You are the one who given fragrance to the flowers. You are the one to given so many birds and animals, and that they are chirping and everything. You created that, the beauty of the forest or the nature. It is you. The blue sky created by you. That's the feeling of oneness. And it is so perfect. Everything is for you. Created by you and for you. Yeah, last time I was talking about Rabindranath Tagore, no? He was a high level of spiritual master. This kind of understanding doesn't come from living in a, some big house or childhood in a confined space or something like that, yeah, with the boundary of walls. In this, as the topic came, I just just give you one thing, or my Bengali friends will understand. I will translate it. আমারই চেতনার রঙে পান্না হলো সবুজ, চুনি উঠলো রাঙা হয়ে। তারপরে দেন আমাকে আমি বললাম সুন্দর, সুন্দর হলো সে, লাইক দ্যাট। Anybody remembers that line? Anybody remember that poem? Anyway, it means that amari chetana, amari means mind, amari chetana, chetana is consciousness. Chetana wrong, the color of my consciousness make the ruby red, and that the green, what is called?
Sapphire.
Yeah.
Sapphire.
Sapphire green. Everything in my consciousness, the colors what we see, it is a reflection of my consciousness, and which is so true. This is exactly what we experience with oneness. Everything is a reflection of my consciousness, the one. I'm not a small body, mind, intellect package and, trying to understand life or struggling to survive. No. Okay. My experience is the one. That is, the oneness experience is like that. So everything I created and everything is being presented, and it is so perfect. So if you go to that oneness, you see what life can offer you. Okay. All right. So I will conclude here. So if you have any questions, so I will take the questions now.
So Guruji's solution for today's issue is, one is writing the gratitude journal, and second is going to the no mind zone.
Mm-hmm.
Only the gist of the thing is, when we are in no mind, we are in oneness. Then this, what we think we are, finishes.
No one, or not only no mind, you have to go to all the levels, up to sixth body. You have the oneness. You have the control of the mind, etc., in the lower ones. Then you go to the knowledge body, and then go to the karmic body, causal body, the fifth. So if you go beyond, when you quieten all those things, all these lower bodies, not only the mind, you have to quieten that emotion, no emotion. Then your karmic thing, they will interfere. You have to have hold on that. But to cross karmic thing, you need divine grace. Okay. Guru Kripa. And then you cross it, you go to that territory where no such thing, no thoughts, no emotions are interfering. They are at their place. Your karmic thing has been quietened. The karmic thing is called, it's a burnt out. Means, divine has taken care of that. Then you go and experience this as oneness. So this kind of oneness, so no thought is a starting point. What I mean to say, no thought is starting point, not the ultimate.
Okay, starting point.
You continue to be that. You experience higher head bodies, and then ultimately you experience this, what I just explained. Yeah.
Understood. Thank you, Guru.
Okay. All right. Okay. God bless you.